was thinking is that we will have a samatha, meaning initially we have to start with samatha, and when we come to vipassana, this is a very nice sutta to contemplate. Mahadukha Khanda Sutta. Have you gone through this anytime? No, you have gone through it. Right. In this sutta, what Buddha explains is about, or rather, there is monks from other sect who meet these monks who are following Buddha teaching, and they ask this question: our teacher teaches about karma. Our teacher also talks about the Vedana, and our teacher also talks about Rupa. We find that Gautama also speaks the same thing. So there is no difference between our teacher and your teacher. They both speak the same. What do you think? Now, in talking all this while, is that we are looking at Kama Chanda. But do we know what is Kama in the first place? What do you think?
Desire, sensual desire for all the five senses.
Yeah, but how, how, how deep can you go on that? At any moment, can you go deeper? Yes, it is attraction or interest for senses. That's correct. But how deep can we go?
Deep it is tanha, the craving, and further deep it is dukkha, that you are not complete. You need something out because you are, see, the jhanic sukha is not there, right? So some kind of sukha is the inherent nature of ourself. So that way we are always craving for sukha and we have no clue. So we find it in five senses. So we run behind it,
Okay,
which is actually dukkha.
that's fair argument. So when we are meditating, we have to look at three portions. One is Assada, Adinava, Nisarana. Okay, so we would like to move from Samatha to Vipassana automatically. Then what we need to do is that look at the Assada. So when I am watching the breath, and it becomes calmer and calmer and calmer, meaning to say that the mind is letting go of many things, but it is still asada. It's a better asada than anything else. So what I need to do is I need to watch asada. So the kama is about asada, adinava, nisarana, kama, and also in vedana asada, adinava, nisarana, in rupa also asada, adinava, nisarana, all the three. So Vipassana would be on Assada, Adinava, Nissa. Now, what is Assada? It's in Sanskrit Aswada. Literally means relishing. So Assada means to relish, enjoy. Adinava is the danger. Nissarana is escape. Three things. So what he says, there are 30 things. 5 into 6, 30 things. If even one thing works, you get attached to it. Okay, so let's understand what it is. So let us say I'm in Hawaii Island watching the beach, and my mind, or rather, I pulls the mind into a nice, uh, picturesque kind of a scenery, which is there outside. Six things are going to come. First is itha. Itha means liking. Kanta. Kanta means we can say to look at it, person gets devoted to it. Okay, so once I get devoted to that kind of an experience, my mind, manapa, is agreeable, becomes a very agreeable thing. Okay, then kama upasamhit. Kama is, from that sense, upa is near, samhita is collected, just collects itself. So I feel like, wow, wow effect of whatever I'm seeing. It's my sight with that scenery, what I'm seeing. Priya Rupa. Now, Priya Rupa is lovely, very lovely to see. So, the Rupa form, so lovable. And Rajaniya. Rajaniya means something which is enticing, doesn't make you to let go of it. So, in sight, sound, taste, touch, smells, 5 into 6, 30. Can I watch it? That becomes karma. So the vipassana here, watch these 30 in or 6 in each one of the senses, from whichever sense I am taking. Can I do it? That's the question. If I can do it, then I know the danger.
So these six are actually five, six variations of liking only.
But it is
Six level.
more and more deeper into it.
Yeah, six level.
6 levels. If I just put it, yeah, like it, well, but it's not like that. Everything has to come in place. See, let's say I want to go on a trekking, or let's take our both Gaya visit. Myself, Ariu, Shreyas, and Ashutosh. Right? It has all the six: Ittha, Kanta, Manapa, Kamupa, Samhita, Piyarupa, Rajini. That's all the six. Now, to take the trouble. Trouble of what? Let's take Ariu's experience of coming here for the jhana. Let's forget about the jhana. Let's say he wanted to just come and enjoy. So let's take the normal thing. Let's say he had he want, instead of going to Hawaii, he thought, why not look at it? So what should happen first? Bangalore is where? In the mind. Or India is where? The mind. But mind cannot enjoy by itself. It requires 5 senses. Otherwise, no way it can enjoy. Just try. You require a sight, you require a sound, taste, touch, smell. Required. Minimum requirement is 5 senses. This is called Kama Guna. It has a guna of enjoyment. So the mind cannot enjoy by itself. So there are 5, and it has the 5 gunas. What do you think? Panchame bhikkhave kama guna. That's what he said. So, how would somebody enjoy the mind without connecting with five senses? And remember, Bangalore or India or America or whatever country, continent, places of worship, places of enjoyment, etc., are in the mind. They are not in the body. They are never in the body. They are never in the sight. They are never in the sound, taste, touch, smell. But you require these five senses to bring it for you. Yes, sir.
How about these people who like brain teasers? Is this one of the five senses as well? Like they enjoy solving brain puzzles.
Everything is same. The puzzle is in the mind. The puzzle is nowhere else, in the mind. Okay. But you have to see, you have to hear. You can't taste, you can't smell, you have to touch. The three senses are working. Solve the puzzle. Otherwise, where is the puzzle? Let's say I have this Rubik cube. Solving the Rubik cube is in the mind. Yeah, agree? So first, I need to touch it. I can't solve Rubik cube without touching that thing. And I have to see. If I turn it, which color is where, and I have to keep on turning. Okay, so touch, sight, no sound. Sound is not required. So I don't care about the sound which is coming while turning it. My more concern is on the sight and the touch. But how to solve is there in the mind. Yes.
To that extent, everything is overvaluated or contaminated by concept. Let's say if you go to mountain top, or you have climbed the Everest, right? When you are on the top of Everest, you are just somewhere in the place of the mountain, but the conceptually you are top of the world,
Yes.
right? So the enjoyment of top of the world is in your mind. There is
Exactly.
nothing called top of the world, right? Down there, it's just another mountain.
So first you have to give a value. To get you that value, you require five senses.
Five senses are just grounding you, your concept, like top of the mountain. Concept is grounded. Yes, really, I am on the top. Confirmation only five senses are giving.
Right. It only gives you the information, nothing else. Everything is all made up. Sankhara. Just make things up. So the Kama Guna is in these five. The Guna characteristics are these six ones. If all of the six meets, then you call it as enjoyment, happiness.
Even in your dream, when you achieve something, you need either sight or sound or something.
Exactly, you can't miss that. So mind will make things up, that is okay. But for the mind, these five senses are required.
Independently, concept cannot be enjoyed.
No.
Let's say you have solved the puzzle, right? Without that puzzle box, the solution of the puzzle is in your mind. Can you enjoy?
No, you can't. That's what you require five senses. Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking even if it's a less visual puzzle, let's say some people do these. They read some text and then they think what's going to happen. But I think even in that sense, they probably create something in their mind. That's
No,
visual or
the enjoyment is in the mind, Aryu, but you require one or the other sense to pick it up for you.
yeah. I was just thinking in the terms of like a text puzzle. There's not much sight that's desirable per se, right?
Fine.
It is desirable, right? The challenge you are being asked via the text that gives you kick that I am being challenged. If there is no text, how you are challenging yourself?
See, I'll give an example. I can recite the sutta. I'm not touching the text. I'm reading it out. But how can I read without seeing? Need to see. You show me one thing where you require or where you don't require any of the senses. Show me one.
Even if you are memorizing something, past experience, let's say you had a pizza yesterday, you are just remembering it and enjoying it. Even then, there is a picture at least.
So you tell me one thing where you don't require any sense.
5 times, right? Not even 6.
Why? That's the reason he says panchime. There are 5. Panchime bhikkhave kamaguna. He doesn't say 6.
No concept independently enjoyable without this 5 cents. That's what even I'm getting.
Yes, you can't enjoy or suffer if you don't have any 5 senses. If you don't have, then you are in nibbana. Straight.
Yeah. Dhamma or mental constructs
Yeah,
independently have no value.
correct. So, yes, sir.
I'm wondering if any kind of jhanic bliss or anything entirely out of this five, or part of it is also body and
No,
other.
no, no, no. Wait. That is in Vedana. We are going to come to that. What he says,
Pure Vedna, we can say something in between.
sights known by the eye, sound known by the ear, taste known by the tongue, body known by the touch, nose, smell known by the no jhanik. Don't bring something
Yeah.
which is not part.
To that extent, Vedna is independent. They may be looking like dependent on 5 senses, but otherwise also Vedana is possible.
No, that you leave it. Don't bring Vedana. So then you are going beyond Buddha itself. In that sutta, he doesn't talk about Vedana because Kama is different than Vedana, and Kama and Vedana are different than Rupa. They are not the same. That's the reason I was asking, have you gone through this sutta? If you say yes, all the three are different. He doesn't say, oh, now I have taken Rupa, so now it has Vedana. Aha, this is 5 senses. So now that has Rupa as well as Vedana. So what we need to know is in that Kama Guna or Kama, what is Kama? Kama means sense with Guna, characteristic. The senses throw something. If it meets whom? Meets the mind. It will have 6. What 6?
In English, we can say valuable sense object.
Value driven sense object. It provides you some value. So it will first provide you with itha, liking, kanta, beloved, manapa, agreeable, kamupa samhita, where it gives you an arousal because that sense is so near for you to enjoy. So upa means near. Kama, that sense, what you are sensing, so near that you are collecting it. You are literally holding it with you. This is my experience. I went there after 6 months of practice of Everest base camp or climbing on the Everest. Yeah, on Discovery Channel, some years ago, I had downloaded around many documentaries where Discovery Channel had used to sponsor, and make they used to make these videos where people can pay money, and the Nepali Sherpa, then they carry them on their back or wherever to climb onto the Everest. So the cost of the Everest climb is 40,000 US dollars, which includes training, equipment, putting them on top. Take that example. What all you can see. First, you need to have that itha, liking. So, during my 2012, 11, 12, 13, I wanted to learn mountaineering. So I can refer it correctly. So, itha, liking. Kanta. That base camp expedition became my obsession. And because of that, I have climbed or trekked or took a trek to different difficult terrains in those years 2010, 11, 12, 13. So, Kanta, because that mountain was very beloved. Manapa, agreeable. In fact, I wanted to do my basic mountaineering course. And even the organization where I was working, they had agreed for a 20-day holiday, but I needed 30 days holiday. So it couldn't get approved beyond 20 days. Otherwise, I would have gone to Darjeeling to learn that. Yes, you're on mute.
Okay. You have said these six are increasing in intensity.
Intensity.
But this agreeable doesn't seem that intense.
Why? It should first agree with you. What it says, manapa. Mana means mind. Your agreeable feeling is in the mind. You feel that, yeah, it is fitting me. It is fitting my
But
spirit.
the kanta, you already said you're already obsessed. So why
No,
you only
it is beloved. Say mountain is beloved to me, but it should agree, right? See, Ariu, don't look at the face value. Try to investigate. Yes, yes, Ariu.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking, guna word is popular. I mean, in all Indian languages, guna means the value only, right? So it really makes sense that sense object with value. I mean, you said sense object driven by value. So, like we have a lot of words using guna, even triguna, all that in spirituality, and always in mathematics also. Multiplication means gunaka.
Gunakara. Correct. So it adds value. So the characteristics, when you create a characteristics, it adds value. So sense with value or value driven senses. Best way to put. So it goes on intensity. So first it starts with
And value means your mental concept, right? Basically, top of the mountain is your mental.
that is where it started, but you require these five senses to make that happen.
Yeah. So that top of the mountain it is started with, but that is adding value to that five sense which I will go and achieve. Meet.
Through the five senses, you will achieve the plan because the mind has a value. Like,
Yeah. So first you created the value and then you start enjoying it.
yeah, start enjoying through the five senses, which is a pain actually. We are carrying pain and searching for pleasure.
Because actual value is five element only.
Ha! Actual value is actually five elements, but
This is actually inflation of value.
correct, value itself is not there. See, in life, you have value. Everything has value. So when you have value, only you start working towards it. If there was no value, you will never work. It can be anything, including Nibbana. And that's the reason in the Mula Paryaya Sutta, Buddha says that even Nibbana is, you shouldn't hold on to. Out of 24, last one is Nibbana. Why? Because there is value in Nibbana. So we need to see these 5 senses in 6 intensity. When it meets, there is aswada, pleasure. So when I say I'm pleasure seeking, it means these 6. Itta, Kanta, Manapa, Kamupa, Samhita, Piyarupa, Rajaniya. This is the Vipassana I need to do. After Samatha. On anything. On any idea which says that I want to go there, I want to do this, I want to do that. Then see this 6. In sight, sound, taste, touch, smell and thought. Question? You can take even 1 or 2 senses. That is sufficient. Whereas sex, you can see all the 5 senses. Because sex is a concept. There is no reality. Sexual union is a concept. It's not real. What you get is only liquid out. But what you experience is something different. 2 bodies touching creates heat. And what are you getting? Nothing out of it. You're sweating like crazy. But it has all the 5 senses. It has sight, sound, taste, touch, smell. Only activity where all the 5 senses are completely involved with the mind. In all the other, one or the other sense is not there. But only in this you have all the 5 senses. And hence it is the most sought out activity. Athuna is the most sought out activity. Because it creates the last one, Taisi, Rajaniya. So we all have Itha. We want to search for a beloved, Kanta. We want a person who is very agreeable, Manapa. We want to keep that person near, Kamupa Samhita. That form is likable or rather lovable, Piya Rupa. Why? Enticing. A man on a woman and a woman on a man, you take as these 5 plus 6 ways of seeing. So you have 30 pleasure, 30 ways of seeing the pleasure. So the being with a woman give you all 30. And hence you have to pursue. As soon as a child is born, it goes to school, learns. Then it gets into graduation. And then it goes to college. Then it feels that I need to love. So what it does? Searches for either a girl or a boy. And it has all the 6. It is interested, liking, Ittha, beloved, Kanta. Agreeable. That female or male is agreeable. Ariyo, this is where I wanted you to agreeability. Person, if he is doing whatever that other person says, best of the world, right? Agreeable. So if you see what we call as love birds or fallen in love, what it means? The world comes to an end for that person. All the five senses are now with that person.
Other condition matches. For example, if you want a bike, but if you have no budget, then it is not agreeable.
It's not agreeable, yes. Like it, yeah, go ahead.
Or in a sense, some women looks pretty attractive on the outside, but when they speak, it's kind of vulgar, let's say, in the tone, and immediately it's gone.
No,
Because
that is liking only, liking and disliking.
I
The
think
thing,
okay.
so thing
But
is
I feel like
this,
this is
Aryu, I'll tell you one thing. So now let's take that girl as an example. You meet first time, okay, you will ignore many aspect of her, okay, and then you get a liking. You like to talk to her all the time. That is itha. The remaining five have not happened. The intensity. The second time you meet, you feel touched, or also she feels touched. That is when you feel it as beloved, which is kanta. It might end there only, but she is so eager to do things for you. Get manapa. Then you want her to be all the time with you. Morning, afternoon, evening, night. So you keep on messaging. If not physically meeting, keep on messaging. She messages, you message, she messages, she message. The time is going, but I don't care, right? Now I'm totally involved with it, that activity. So, kama upasamhit. Then, piya rupa. That rupa of her keeps on haunting me. Whichever girl I see that girl. Right? Happens. And enticing. Rajaniya. I am so desperate now. Meet her. Take an example. I am in Bangalore and in, let's put it, Kashmir girl. Or forget Kashmir. Take another woman. Heard that Russian women skin is very good. So let's take Russia. So I am in Bangalore and she's Russian. Okay. I've fallen in love while coming on a flight. So I was in Europe, she's in Europe, and we both liked fly to Moscow, and I had to come back to Bangalore. And we've been exchanging messages. Now the desperation, meet her. Either makes me come to Moscow or her desperation, Bangalore. That is Rajini.
So Priyanka and Rajniya are almost so much cruel to the level that even socially you may act negatively or unacceptable.
Yes, correct.
Because the Rajniya means not letting go, means if some other guy is talking to her,
You
it
can't
will
stand
hurt
it.
it. You can, and Priya Rupa means you are trapped totally into it at the cost of, let's say, if they ask you to leave your parents, you will leave.
Ha. Because you can't stand away from that.
Yeah. So you are moved almost to the negative side of social behavior.
Yes. Yes, Arif.
okay. So this arousing, the translation, this does not just mean like sexual arousing. Let's say because even the first sight you can get some, let's say, arousal from that. So it's not.
Yeah, it is not. It is not momentary. It is become part of you. You have become that.
So the
You have been sold to that level.
see arousal, English word, it tends towards sexuality more than anything. It's not about that. It is about you're charmed so much, or she has got charmed by you, and you have got charmed by her.
That's what value is the right word. Guna, right? Kama guna. To that much extent, you are ready to pay.
Yeah.
Maybe you are ready to kill yourself. To that extent, someone loves someone.
Yes. If she gets married somewhere, or if she rejects. I can't stand it because
Suicide.
I've already crossed that Rajiniya. In fact, the Sanskrit meaning for Rajini is darkness. Basically, because of enticing, you are in dark. Rajini is a person who will make person go completely dark by that person. He or she occupies so much that there's no space anywhere. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was reminded of the video I shared on Moggallana, right? He was so blind and he would kill his parents
Parents.
because that woman has told her something. So he's blinded by that.
Exactly.
He paid heavy price for that liking.
Now coming to that is Adinava. The same sutta, Buddha explains what is the danger you can see in this life. Forget about other lives. So he says, what's a drawback? So a person living has to find a profession to enjoy the six or five senses. Okay, so you should take some profession, but they must face cold and heat. Then they are hurt by flies and mosquitoes and all those, and something which is moving or crawling. Then you have to find vehicles, you want transport, you want this, do that, all of those, and basically hunger and thirst. The starting point. So you can't enjoy sensual pleasure, that is Itta Kanta Manapa Kamupa Samhita Yarupa Rajaniya. Six things will not happen if any one of this is missing. Meaning, if you're hungry, you can't enjoy. If you're tired, you can't enjoy. If you don't have water, you can't enjoy. If you are not in any profession, you can't enjoy. Why?
Oh, in that time, computing, accounting, calculating were three different jobs. Huh? Mathematics.
So you can't enjoy. You're doing farming ultimately to enjoy. Itta Kanta Manap. So I need that sale to happen in the way I want it. Then last is Rajiniya, pricing. My rice paddy I was able to sell at this price. So nice. Then I can expand my business. So here the labha, alabha comes in. Profit and loss. The moment there is loss, the six senses, the five senses cannot provide any one of these six guna. Meaning, if somebody says that your rice I can pay this much amount only, nobody would be interested in buying. Or rather, I feel hurt of producing so much of rice. And when this time I have put wheat in place of rice, the demand is for rice, then what happens? Same. Even the product development, forget about rice and wheat, as if those are farmers. Let's look at the technology field. We are very technical people. We don't want those stupid things. But our product is dependent on whom? Customer. The requirement changes, you can't enjoy the sense. You don't like to hear, you don't like to see, you don't like to smell, you don't like to taste. One or the other sense, you don't want to hear bad news. I don't want to see product failing. See that. See that.
You are stuck by office politics, your boss scolds you,
Yeah, all that is there. So
makes you work overtime,
yeah.
fight with your colleagues.
So
This is unexpected. These were unexpected. In the beginning, you wanted to do this because you wanted to feed your family.
it was only about feeding the family, but actually it is not about feeding the family. It is about sensual enjoyment. So when I'm doing a meditation, coming back to meditation subject, it's a beautiful way of seeing. I can open my eyes and see what I'm doing. A complete Vipassana. How many hours? I don't have to sit in a place and do something. Just on watching whatever is happening.
Yeah. So when you see a girl rather than a Subhasanna, this Vipassana will also work. All the time we need not to do a Subhasanna.
Exactly. Exactly. So you can see the effort you're taking. The effort.
Nah, it's not work.
It's not worth. And ultimately, what she will do? She will piss and she will shit. Mentally, also physically.
Another bag of piss and sit and urine.
Yeah. Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, since our last discussion, I think me and Matter we're seeing these women are like, uh, they charm you. And then basically, as soon as you're captured, you work your whole life for them on all of these things and then become a slave of sorts to
Yeah.
provide these sensual enjoyments.
Yeah. So if I go behind five senses, then it ends up in woman. But that is when I get all the five. Ultimately, you see, after getting job, etc., what's the next thing you're going to do?
In fact, in another sutta we were discussing that day, you see woman as woman only because you see yourself as man,
Yes.
right? Because you give value yourself first that I am a man, then only you get attracted to women. If you are not man, in the sense that um, by meditation we are moving toward neither man nor woman. The perception of woman is based on perception of manhood.
Correct.
To the extent that you consider yourself a valuable man, you will be attracted by a valuable woman.
Yes.
So that internal vipassana is also required. That why you are giving yourself that much value.
I mean, in the same way, in the Aganya Sutta, initially people are enjoying meditation or whatever, right? And then they got into sex by having men and women. So it's kind of, they got into these kamaguna or whatever.
Yeah. I forgot that sutta name.
So this is what is on the, and he talks about different like fights, countries, continents, all of that, politics. And best part, you earn and you have to pay taxes. Nobody would love to do that. So again, you have to find something to escape tax. So there are schemes. Say that you can save it here, you can save there, you can do this, and then medical insurance, all due to kamaguna. Not medical insurance is there only for kamaguna, nothing else. Okay, and in the US, you have a 401k plan. Same thing, no different. So for enjoying the senses or getting this sixth thing in the senses, all of Adinava is going to be there. Meaning you have to earn, you have to pay the government, and you don't want it because it's your hard-earned money. Government has not earned for it. Government has not even done anything what you have done. You have toiled. Literally, you have toiled, but you have to pay. And they say you are an abiding citizen. Why? Because to enjoy the senses, you need to do sacrifice. Yes, go ahead.
For that, I see it as paying for your protection of safety and all that. I mean, to earn, you have to have that.
Exactly. You have to do that.
So almost a Puttujana or normal person does whatever in the whole day, 24 by 7, he's doing for one thing, indirectly.
So, if we were to observe, you get little Assada, more Adinava. Got the point? So now I get a job. I have to pay 30% as tax. The CTC, cost to the company, is very high. I get that pleasure. But when I get my first salary in the bank account, ding, that SMS which comes, and I see, I'm shocked. A 50% hike, I got a 30% raise, which I could have got it in the same company. Got the point? So much of tax is gone. So now I will go and ask an auditor, hey, tell me some tax savings.
Basically, you get trapped into the system now. All the rules and regulation you have to study, get escape, like a driver is smartly driving through the crowd.
Exactly. All for Kamaguna. You see this, all for Kamaguna. Rajaniya. Last is Rajaniya. All for enticing. You get enticed by that. I got a good job. I got a raise. Got promoted. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was just thinking for marriage, mostly you get the sada in the first month, and then the whole life is adino.
It's only Adina, nothing else. Not whole month, a week, because you get tired of watching that body.
Yeah, I'm just being conservative. I was meant to say the first day, but
Okay, first month. But if there are people who are on that job for forever and ever and ever, by 1 month they get totally bored because they have sucked enough of that pleasure. Now it is
And point is once you are sold, you start again from the bottom, not from that point, right? That day, that let's say after marriage, what happens? This devaluation. Actually, you devaluate yourself rather than devaluating the kamaguna.
yes,
Now, when you get a job, you start from the point of getting a job, your salary. Now, salary increment gives you enjoyment and salary decrement gives you depression, but you are not relating it to the point zero now. Now it become part of you. You get adapted to that, and it's become you. I am the software engineer becomes you, rather than from the point zero. You become software engineer because of this. Now, since you are software engineer, it becomes your atta bhava. And if someone say you are bad software engineer, you feel bad.
yeah, because you created software engineer in your mind, which is Rajani. Yes,
yeah, I guess in a similar way to what you described, all these sensual enjoyment, they have like a tolerance, right? You get to the normal, it normalizes very quickly. So you cannot get the same enjoyment just by having the same thing, right? You have to double it or all that.
okay, so the Adinava, danger, are many. For a normal person, even though he is not working for the country or whatever, every day toiling, getting his raise of wages and promotion, that itself is a overwhelming exercise. And after doing that, saving the tax is even more overwhelming exercise. So now what he does is something different. He will try to find loopholes in the system. that he can
And
say.
even after that, if you have saved money, investment is a bigger problem.
Yes. So I'm going to come to that. Now he will find loopholes in the system to do something which is immoral and unethical. Then he needs to park that money somewhere. So he has to find another scheme now. So what all can he do? He can buy goods. How much will he buy? Can't. He has to buy gold and silver. How much gold and silver can he buy? Because that will come and stay in his house. And he will start fearing of robbers and dacoits and all that. That's another adhinava. Wait, investment in mutual fund, stocks, trading, etc., etc. Now he has invested. Now he has to get the return, which is again anxiety, adhinava of losing that. So in whichever way this person runs, he has to only look at adhinava, or he gets only adhinava. No assada at all. Little assada, more adhinava. Yes, Aryu.
Yeah, I was just thinking I was previously associated with someone who's good at investment. So I found the ultimate fear that you have is to protect yourself from the kids. And then they have to design the trust in that way the kids don't kill them to get the money. So they have to be very particular in all these ways. And they have to keep on discussing how not to let the kids
Yes.
have it.
They will induce lot of fear and future planning. They will induce in you. After 10 years, this happens, that happens. You get disease, this, then all that calculation they will show you, and according to that they will invest your money. But the, at the bottom of that investment is future planning.
Yes. So you have only adhinava. So my vipassana shouldn't be an assada. My vipassana should be an adhinava. That's it. You will come out of it. So can I do that? Yeah, do it all the time. All the time. Take a woman, because there you can use all the five senses. Look at the anxiety you have minute by minute in meeting the requirement, which is adhinava. He will keep on putting a requirement and you need to perform. He again puts another requirement, perform, another requirement, perform, another requirement, perform. It is endless. It's endless. And after that, she says, I'm not interested in you. Even more horrible. I did everything
You
for
are
you.
not you are not up to the mark.
You're not up to the mark. So now I have to find another woman. Why? Because she's adhinav, danger of assada. So my pleasure is ended. I need a pleasure. How? Get another one. And again start. Again a child is born. I already had one child from my previous wife. Now I have my second child from this wife. So I become a step father, or I'm the father here. This is very funny now. The whole situation is confusing. My son.
In short, where you started from and where you are ending, there is no meeting point.
Yeah. So shouldn't I meditate on, do a vipassana on adhinava? The best point, best place. Then what will I do? I see adhinava, I see the dukkha satya. Then I see the dukkha samudaya satya. Then I come into nissarana. Okay. Sarana is to run around. This sarana is to cut that running around. So what I do? See, only two things. Kama chanda vinaya is discipline on what really it is, what this kama chanda is all about. Interest on senses, all about. You will not get these 6 things. An assumed thing. Itta, Kanta, Manapa, Kamupa, Samhita, Piyarupa, Rajaniya. It is an assumed thing. You will never get it. And even if you get it, you have to put so much of effort. Don't do it. Stop.
So basically de-evaluate rather than
Yes.
say,
Remove
the
the
ideally we should say remove the value, but he said remove the interest.
yes. You remove the interest. In that, the value automatically goes away. Okay. So the killing and all those things are gone. What's the escape? Chandaraga Vinaya, Chandaraga Pahan. Cutting it. This Vipassana, I can do all the house. Yes.
So first from interest, then value comes, huh?
Yes. First the interest and then the value. Without interest, there is no value, Sachin. Even if I want to invest in a mutual fund, there should be an interest.
So I thought I will de-evaluate. Let's say Ashubhabhavana or what, okay, there is actually no value. Whatever we discuss here, we de-evaluated, right?
You
But it has not removed the interest in me. That means
no, the devaluation can only perfectly work if you lose interest in that. First, you should have nibbidha, that is disillusionment, which really removes the interest. I am illusioned. Now I come into disillusion. I see the danger, the illusion is gone. Like that. Okay, so this is the end here, and tomorrow we will take on the form. That's the most interesting thing. Whole sutta, second one is the most interesting. And then we'll see how to break that. Then we go to the Vedana. And after that, we'll see what is, how you can see anicca, dukkha, anatta. Yes. When you do that, you're done. So you have samatha, you have vipassana. This is even more easier than MN62, that is Maharahula Vada Sutta. You know how to practice the 5 elements, all that. Very simple, easy. I felt this is more easier than what we were doing. So we'll try. It works. Because this Vipassana is easy. More easier than breath watching. All the breath watching you can do half an hour max. Just to calm down. Then take this. Look at the Adinava. He has given 6, 7 types of Adinava. Reflecting, mind will start really pondering over it. That's it. So vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata happen. So you're in jhana, actually. Okay, so let's end for today and meet with that section and Vedana tomorrow. Finish both. Tomorrow I'm here. So do that. Any questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, Matt. Sorry.
No, I was just saying thank you. That was good.
Okay. You too. Any questions from anyone before we close? All good. Okay. So have a good day and a very good night, Matt, and bye.
Bye.